Ladies and gentlemen, I heard that Trump and Pence lost it. And Trump threw a newspaper article at him, a crumpled up newspaper article, and Pence went at him and snarled and lost it, quote unquote, lost it, alluding to like some kind of possible physical confrontation. I mean, they went at it. I mean, it really was a battle between Trump and Pence in the octagon. And it was for the soul of America. And who knows? I think Jake the Snake came into the Oval Office with the what did he call the python? With the python, and Trump tried to pull the DDT on Pence. And Pence just jumped up on the furniture and tried to give him the people's elbow. I don't know. It's all here. It's in the book. I think it's in the book. Frankly, we did win this election. A new piece in the Wall Street Journal adapted from reporter Michael Bender's book. So this is not like gossip and hearsay pertaining to Trump. It is not journalism. It is simply gossip and hearsay. These are tell-all books, similar to kiss and tell type books. This is not what Peter Jennings or David Brinkley or Sam Donaldson or Ted Koppel used to do, or Walter Cronkite, or like all the great journalists. This is not what Washington Post reporters or Wall Street Journal or New York Times reporters used to do. When, even JFK, they could have with JFK, but they didn't, obviously. With even LBJ, with Ford, Nixon, you found a lot of books on Watergate, but that was a break-in and a cover-up. You didn't find any of these books with Reagan. You found none of these books with Bush, and you could have. I mean, you kind of had books talking about the Bush administration from the vantage point of their horrifically failed foreign policy that destabilized entire regions of the planet. But here's a Yahoo News article. Mike Pence reportedly once lost it after Trump threw a crumpled newspaper article at him. So he lost it. They almost got into a physical confrontation. I mean, this is what is being conveyed here. Former Vice President Mike Pence reportedly lost it and snarled. Snarled? Snarled? What did he show his fangs? And at former President Donald Trump in 2018, in 2018 no less. Could you imagine what was going on for 2 years after getting a crumpled up newspaper article thrown at him? He lost it. So are they alluding to some kind of battle royale, populist battle royale? I don't know. Like what are they trying to say? This book accused Trump of numerous things that almost certainly didn't happen, or I can tell you one thing didn't happen. Check out my segment prior to this one, or actually the last segment yesterday. But hit subscribe to this channel, hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel, and I actually give my thoughts on the left's implosion, or left-leaning, the implosion on the left of the $20 million venture capital monstrosity that's actually facing a discrimination case, lawsuit at the moment. Nobody's talking about it, but check that segment out. I also talk about the fact that Republicans and Democrats are fundraising off the belief that Trump's going to be Speaker of the House. Be here for the live streams every day at around 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific, 2 or 3 p.m. Pacific. So I'll have a live stream obviously tomorrow at 2 p.m. Be here. And if you want to support my voice long-term, my Patreon is in the pinned comment. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding. Like, the 182,000 subs that I earned on this channel, I did it all myself. Through my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post Salon when I was on the left, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, other publications, Times of Israel, now that I'm a bit more conservative on numerous issues. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. I'm an American citizen that I think uses rational logical, like a critical thinking skills that are lost today. I'm not bound by any political ideology. So if it's Tulsi Gabbard versus Marco Rubio, I'm voting for Tulsi Gabbard. Because I don't want never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. I think that is a scourge upon humanity. I think that's the greatest national security and greatest moral dilemma we face as a country. I want Americans home from never-ending conflict. President Trump negotiated a deal to get Americans home, and now Biden's trying to take credit for it. It's really President Trump. Obviously, anybody who understands politics knows it's President Trump who forced Biden's hand. But if it's Trump versus Clinton, I'm voting Trump 1,000 out of 1,000 times. I want Trump. I voted Trump over Biden. Or actually, 5 years ago, I voted Jill Stein, but I was still stuck within the Democratic Party cult. The entire left is a gigantic cult. You can tell that from the way they react to people who don't vote Democrat, who are on the left. So Jimmy Dore has been disparaged. You look at Aaron Monte. They accused him, I think, of, they tried to tie him to Russia, the whole myth, that absurd tinfoil hat fantasy that all these left-leaning pundits regurgitated simply because the New York Times, the Washington Post, was fed that story through BuzzFeed and Brennan and Clapper and Comey and the DNC and Clinton, who purchased the Steele dossier. The whole thing was made up and fabricated. That's why nobody trusts media. The majority of Americans do not trust media because media has almost always pertained to Trump a distinct, overt political agenda. They don't care. They don't care about logic or reason or rational thought. They said he worked with Russia. They couldn't find anything. Eventually evolved into, oh my God, he paid for Alan Weisselberg's grandchildren's tuition. They have nothing. All they have is indignation. But see, this is the thing. They have to create this world where Trump and Pence are going at it in a steel cage. Okay? Where, I talked about Mankind today, one of the great wrestlers of all time. Hell in a Cell. I mean, that was one of the great... he could have lost his life. But you look at all the... I love the old school wrestlers. I mean, now I'm getting into, my favorites are Macho Man, Rowdy Piper, Jake the Snake, Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik. I can go on. Ricky Steamboat. I can go on forever. But you look at what's taking place. They're trying to turn this into the WWF, WWE. They're trying to turn this into this TMZ, they're trying to turn this into a sensationalized world where you have two combatants, where Trump is this orange menace and Pence is the good Republican because he was just, he had to go along for the ride. But he didn't create a lot of problems last November like Trump did. So Trump reportedly then crumpled the article and threw it at his vice president, so disloyal. At this point, the report said Pence lost it, growing frustrated because Jared Kushner had asked him to hire... Okay, so Mr. Pence picked up the article and threw it back at Mr. Trump. He leaned towards the president and pointed a finger a few inches from his chest. This is hilarious. Why is this so important to people who don't like Trump? Do you think I care about, oh my goodness, on election night in 2016, Hillary, she threw a Bible at me. It's been reported in the news. You know what? I was going to file charges, but I said no, that's okay. I'll forgive. But I'm telling you something, Nolan Ryan's got nothing on Hillary. That's the spin rate of that Bible. If you look at the new sabermetrics destroying Major League Baseball, if you look at the spin rate, I think she threw a curve. Do I care about this nonsense? All these books trying to foment this belief that Trump is this otherworldly orange menace, monster, nightmare. Who cares? They have nothing on Trump. They went from he worked with the Kremlin to he paid for someone's grandchildren's tuition. They have nothing. Now they're saying that Pence and Trump went at it like one of the Rocky installments. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Be here tomorrow for the